Welcome back, and we're still talking football on the Sports Smack Zone. Defending champions Manchester City, that's Maria Ramharak's side, will take a 6-point lead over Liverpool into round 29 of the English Premier League. But while City and Chelsea have their eyes fixed on glory, Everton and their head coach Frank Lampard are fretting about avoiding the relegation trapdoor. The Toffees are in 17th place, 1 point above the relegation zone. Since the EPL began in 1992, Everton are one of only 6 teams who have never been relegated. And ahead of the weekend clash with the Wolves, Lampard knows the importance of maintaining that record.
There's a reason why Manchester City and Liverpool at the top of the league. They win most weeks. There's a reason why your league position is pretty true, and then there's a reason you have to fight out a way that you have to try and fight out of that. And sometimes it takes defeats and losing games and to show resilience. And we've had 2 centre-back injuries in my first 2 games. And I think any team that, and we've seen it in recent Premier League history, any team that loses frontline centre-backs, 2 of them at the same time, becomes really difficult, and it changes your options. So it won't be a dramatic change of approach for Wolves. It will be an approach that we see relevant for the opposition in Wolves. And maybe a change because maybe we have players back that are now available that haven't been. And they're big players for us. You know, Ben Godfrey's a big player, Damari Gray is a big player. So I haven't really been able to call on them, but now I can, and we need our big players.
Frankie Lampard there, the Chelsea legend. Let's look now at the fixtures listed for this weekend's round of matches in the English Premier League. Liverpool away to Brighton, Brentford at home to Burnley, Manchester United, currently 5th in the table. They're at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea, they're hosting Newcastle. Leeds United against Norwich City. Wolves travelling to Everton. West Ham at home to Aston Villa. Southampton facing Watford. Arsenal at home to Leicester City. Arsenal currently 4th in the table, and Crystal Palace, they're up against the leaders Manchester City. Now heading into the weekend, here's how the table looks at the moment. Man City with a 6-point lead on Liverpool. Chelsea are a further 7 points back in 3rd, and Arsenal are 4th. Man United, West Ham 5th and 6th at the moment, and Tottenham, Wolves, Aston Villa and Southampton complete the top 10. Burnley, Watford, Norwich in the relegation spots at the moment. Crystal Palace and Leicester City, the teams, along with Brighton, just outside the top 10. Now, Team Brighton will be at home to chasing Liverpool. Brighton, who are winless in their last 4 EPL games, certainly will have their work cut out for them. And Liverpool have an opportunity here to keep the pressure, Mariah. And, well, let's say George, because Mariah doesn't want to talk about this. To keep the pressure on Manchester City. She wants to talk on Manchester City.
I want to talk about Brighton.
To encourage them, yes.
Yeah, despite the fact that they haven't been scoring a lot of goals, the fact that they're not in form, and worse yet at homelands, they don't do well at home at all. I realize with these teams in particular, whenever they're playing the teams that hot, they, for some magical reason, turn on the heat, despite, you know, showing dismal form all the time. So I wouldn't underestimate Brighton for this match, because I feel as if a couple of their players that are injured are coming out of injury now, and I think they're going to turn up the heat. So they will probably be assisting Manchester City.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
4 losses on the trot. George, not a good look going into such an important fixture for them.
Yeah, they've been hot and cold this season. There have been moments when they've been really, really good, Brighton, and then moments when they've looked ordinary. The goal scoring is a problem, as Mariah mentioned just now. You don't have Neil Maupay scoring, you don't have Leo Trossard scoring, and then their midfielder, Yves Bissouma, he's Jekyll and Hyde from week in, week out, so he's not consistent. And then, you know, there were moments in the season where Danny Welbeck came off the bench to give them some impetus with some goals. He stopped scoring as well. So it's a goals problem that they're having, Brighton, and by virtue of a goals problem, that has morphed into a confidence problem as well. But Mariah hit the nail on the head. Make no mistake, they're going to be playing hard against Liverpool. If this is a game to revive them, it's this Liverpool game, because players who play for small clubs rise to the occasion of playing a big club because they want to get one over the players on the big club. They want to be a part of a unit that takes down a big club. That gives them an extra motivation. It's a different kind of motivation relative to them playing a team that is beside them or around them in the league table. That's what you're going to get from Brighton on the weekend.
Yeah, George, you're in your Man United shirt today.
Yes.
Man United at the moment behind Arsenal in the table, which is never a comfortable position for a Man United fan. How do you see the weekend going for the
I'm fretting about what kind of Spurs will turn up. If the right Spurs turn up, they'll beat us.
Yeah.
But if if the lads at Tottenham kind of Spurs turns up, then I'm certain that we'll get the 3 points. So I'm not confident. I heard our senior producer, Ricardo Chambers, chap, say something in the office earlier, and I was saying, boy, you know, I've been here for such a long time, because he said that as a Manchester United fan, he has coached himself to accept whatever he gets. If he gets a victory, great. If the team loses, fine. If they draw, oh well. But he never gets worked up about. So he's not excited about a win or a series of wins. He's not disenchanted. He's not devastated by defeats or a massive defeat. So that is where Manchester United need to run for safety. You need to adopt the Ricardo Chambers attitude. Take what you get. Take it in stride. Breathe. Drink some water. Have a lie down and move on. As a Manchester United. That's where we are now.
George, I won't stress you out by asking you about Arsenal. Arsenal on a 4-game winning streak, Mariah, and playing well. The Arsenal fans are pretty happy these days. Your thoughts on their current form and what might happen for them over the weekend?
Well, what is for sure is their confidence is up. Their players look fit and in form, and we can tell by the results land. So I expect them to also win this weekend's matches and continue to maintain that spot on the table, because they've shown consistency. And what I like about them now, because initially in the season, they didn't play as a unit. You got the fact that, you know, when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and he was a part of the team, there seemed to be some sort of off-the-field issues that was seeping onto the field. But now Arsenal, they look like a collective unit. And that's exactly what they need if they are to remain in the top 4.
Yeah, George, apart from the stutter Man City had a few weeks ago, the other top flight teams based on the standings, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal, are all on winning streaks. City does appear to, well, certainly as far as, you know, Chelsea and Arsenal are concerned, ahead of them. Liverpool the closest to strike. But your thoughts on those 3 chasing teams on Man City and their ability to hold off the teams, including Man United, coming up behind them?
Yeah, it will be. If there's one team I'm confident of front running in the Premier League, is Man City. There's no team right now that's better. Perhaps at Chelsea leading at this stage, I would say yes. Liverpool, not so much, because their players are not used to that. But the players at City now are used to being in this position, being in this kind of pressure. And trust me, they'll be fine in the Premier League from now to the end of the season. If they don't win, I'll be very surprised. Yeah. So I want to say something. You said something earlier about the Everton and the relegation. It's a real threat. And it wasn't until you mentioned it, and I said to myself, well, wow. So the 6 teams in the Premier League who've never been relegated since 1992.
Everton and the others.
Yeah, so Everton, Spurs, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool,
City.
And... No, City have been relegated
since the 92?
Yes, sir, of course. Yes. Sean Goater's Man City was relegated with Sean Goater and Stephen Ireland and company. Yeah, Richard Dunn. So they've been relegated. So it will be Everton, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs,
Chelsea.
And Chelsea. 6 teams. Everybody is Crystal Palace, Man City. They've
tasted some
and it's remarkable.
Second-tier football.
It's remarkable. But you know what it is? And you know why I zeroed in on it? It's a perfect riposte to those who say, yeah, people talk about the English Premier League being the best domestic league in the world. But, you know, it's won by a handful of teams, notwithstanding what Leicester City did.
Yeah.
But the fact is, only 6 permanent members since 1992. The other 14 teams have had periods out of the Premier League. It shows you it is very competitive, and success can't be taken for granted at this level, because 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down.
Yeah.
I said something yesterday about Blackburn Rovers. They won it in 1995 with Jack Walker's
94,
team.
95?
Yes, under Kenny Dalglish.
Yes.
Where's Blackburn Rovers now? You need a pair of binoculars to find them in the English pyramid.
No truth. Well, still to come on the Sports Mag Zone for this Friday. A preview of the West Indies women's match against India this evening as they go for a 3rd win from as many matches. We also find out what happened on day 3 of the first test between the Windies men and England in Antigua and Barbuda. We also have a triathlon discussion. But next, we zone in on La Liga as Atletico Madrid took on Cadiz earlier on Friday.